Hey guys, it's Sophia Swafford here. So for my project, I'm going to be talking about festivals. But to be more specific, I'm going to be talking about the Victory Day Festival, Chinese New Year, and Eid al-Fitr. Sorry if I mispronounced the last one. So to start this all off, I'm going to teach you guys all about the Victory Day Festival in Russia. And for all of these festivals, I'm going to be talking about how they are important to making their region significant, as well as how they unify their people. So, the Victory Day Festival in Russia is Russia's huge celebration for the end of World War II. They have a parade with all Russian military forces, tanks, planes, songs, and of course a firework finale to top it off. Now, Victory Day is usually a very joyous event since it marks the end of World War II. But it's also very emotional for people who fought in the war or knew people who did. And in World War II, the Nazi Party did some real damage to Russia. And at this celebration, it's basically a reminder to the Russian people that they can overcome evil, just like they did in the war. And in fact, this year, Vladimir Putin gave a speech talking just about that. All right, so here's a little clip of the Victory Day Parade, and it was on May 8th this year. Oh, my Siri went off.
You have quite a
All right. So, as you just saw, this is quite a large parade. And what makes this festival and parade so special is that it unifies all of the Russian people as well as Europe, reminding them of their history with World War II. This is very significant to their culture because it is actually, for Russia, one of the few festivals that ties back to such an emotionally historic event. Everyone in Russia grows up with this festival in their life, and it imprints them very much so, putting in their brain that World War II is a very significant part of their culture. Everyone in Russia comes together to celebrate their freedom, if that makes sense. So, moving forward, we're going to be talking about Chinese New Year. Now, I'm sure a lot of you people are familiar with Chinese New Year, but I'm going to teach you guys something a little different. For example, did you guys know that it's actually called the Spring Festival? Or that it lasts 15 or 23 days? I know I didn't know that. Now, this celebration basically has lots of parades and feasting to bring in the new year. And it's celebrated in more than 10 to 15 countries around the world. And it's actually one of the most important holidays China celebrates to this day. It's been celebrated in China ever since 2000 BC. So, since there are many parades, it has to tie back to something, right? Well, in this case, Chinese New Year all ties back to ancient legend. And the reason they have all these parades with the color red and with dragons is to warn off bad spirits. So in Hong Kong, from the year 2016 to 17, they had, of course, just like every year, they have dragons dancing to warn off evil spirits, as it is part of ancient tradition.
好啦，跟住為大家表演嘅呢，就係香港中國國術龍獅總會，主題呢，就係龍獅匯聚萬家歡。講到農曆新年呢，當然唔少得呢，就係傳統嘅醒獅賀歲㗎啦。而龍精虎猛嘅醒獅，再配合埋鑼鼓嘅鳴奏，寓意住雞年個個都生生猛猛，百家興旺。So Chinese New Year is has such a heavy culturalistic background that they are always precise with their parades or festivals anywhere around the globe, which is why it's so well known, I think.
So I'm going to show you another clip.
匯演打響頭炮，準備
3、2、1。
Since this is celebrated in so many countries around the world, Hong Kong actually had this broadcasted on TV so anybody could see it. And they also had it translated in different languages, but I didn't get that clip. So basically, Chinese New Year brings everybody together, and you have a lot of meals together. And with your family, no matter what kind of quarrels you have with people, you have to put it aside for that amount of time. And every night have nice meals together and be thankful for what you have, because Chinese New Year is such a heavily important part of Chinese culture, and no one would want to disrespect society. So that is Chinese New Year. Now we're going to move on to Eid al-Fitr. Once again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. And Eid al-Fitr is a really, really important festival because it marks the end of fasting for Ramadan. And it is full of love, devotion, and fireworks. So Eid al-Fitr actually means the festival of breaking fast. And it's actually coming up on June 24th, which is pretty exciting. And it is full of all this cultural rich stuff, like cultural attire, cultural food. And it's really, really exciting because on this day, thousands and thousands of people pray to the god Allah to thank them for everything, and then they feast. And Saudi Arabia, for example, actually has one of the biggest celebrations every year because the Mecca is there. And so many Muslims come to celebrate and pray. And I find it really interesting. So I found this clip that I thought was very interesting. And it is, since Eid al-Fitr hasn't happened this year yet, this clip is from a couple years ago. And I hope you enjoy it. It is some of their ritualistic dancing after the praying and the feast. So as you could tell from just that video, Eid al-Fitr is, once again, like I said, a very cultural rich event because it brings everyone together for one reason, which is to pray to the god and celebrate their fasting. Here is another clip just to give you an idea of how many people come and how many people celebrate this day.
إذا تراحمت القلوب فالراحمون يرحمهم الرحمن.
This festival, in short, unifies the people, but also is significant because it shows the Muslim dedication to their god Allah and strengthens their cultural beliefs heavily.
يصلوا صلاة العيد وهم مجتمعون صفا واحدا.
There's also every part inside this building is full of people. That just goes to show you how many people are celebrating.
أو يخترق صفهم إنه شعار أهل الإسلام إنه التآخي إنه التراحم إخوة الإيمان.
All right. So in all, each festival that I showed you is rich with culture and is heavily significant. I hope you learned something, and I hope it was entertaining. Thank you for your time. Here is my very long, very long. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.